I'm Jenny Rosengren from crazyherbgirl.com, and today I wanted to talk about herbs versus essential oils. Now, I'm not looking for a lot of confrontation and just arguing about what's better, but I really want to know, what do you choose to use most and why? And the first thing I wanted to talk about today was the similarities between herbs and essential oils. And the very first thing that I have to say concerning using herbs and essential oils as your medicine is that you really need to know what you're doing. You need to be knowledgeable and you need to be skillful in choosing and knowing which herb or essential oil or blend of those is going to be the most beneficial. And so educate yourself. Look at schools or go to someone that you know is very knowledgeable and start learning from them. Have them mentor you. The second thing that is a similar thing between herbs and essential oils are that if you're not using them knowledgeably and skillfully, then you can have a lot of adverse reactions. You can have side effects, you can have allergic reactions, and those things are not to mess around with. So make sure that you really do know what you're doing. And the third thing is that above all, if you're using something as your medicine, you want to make sure that the quality and the practices surrounding how that herb or essential oil is created or gathered or stored is done according to the best and safest practices. And I just want to make one caveat here that I personally love Mountain Rose herbs. They are impeccable in how they all their herbs are either organic, wildcrafted, or they certify them and they test them themselves to certify that there are no pesticides. And I also purchased from Star West Botanicals. At the bottom of my website on every page are links to both of those companies. And so if you're interested in buying bulk herbs, those two companies I do suggest. As far as essential oils, I use many different companies. I know there's a lot of contention between different companies about how they research and test and all of that kind of stuff, and I'm not into that because I find that there's some companies that I like their blends and their quality, and then other companies that I like them for different things. So again, educate yourself. Talk to people that you trust if you don't know who to go to. So let's talk about some of the differences. So the pros as far as using herbs. In my herbal training, I was taught that you always want to use the whole herb. That's the way God made it. And it has those different ingredients, different things that make it up. And God made it that way on purpose to work synergistically in your body. So if I am looking at nutritionally long-term feeding a particular organ in my body or strengthening something and nourishing, I want to use the herb. And like I said, I want to make sure that it's a good herb. And same with culinary herbs. Those are our food. We need to make sure they have as much nutrition as possible. And so that's a great benefit of using the whole entire herb. Second is herbs are just cheaper. They're easier to come by. They're easy to replenish because frequently we can plant our own herb gardens and have them right in our yard, and it doesn't cost hardly anything. So as far as cost, herbs are far cheaper. And there are a wide range of uses that you can make from your dried herbs. You can make salves, you can make tea, you can make infused oils, you can make ointments, you can do tinctures. So having that raw dried herb is incredibly beneficial. Some of the cons would be that storing herbs takes a lot of space depending on how much you want to store, and they need to be stored properly, so in glass jars away from the light so that they don't lose their nutritional value, which happens over time. Obviously everything does, but if it's stored properly, you have a much greater chance. Like for example, I had herbs that were stored for 10 years and I opened them up and it still smells like lemon balm. So they do last a long time if they're stored properly. They're also not as easy to administer to children unless it's a tea that tastes good. You're not going to have kids that are going to be like, yeah, I'll drink lobelia tea, which by the way makes people throw up. So not pleasant to ingest. FYI. So it's easier for adults. I mean, you can capsulize them in different things and make them easier, but for kids, that can be difficult to administer herbs to children, unless you have a spoonful of sugar, right? And you have to ingest a larger amount versus essential oils if you want to have the healing effects from the herbs. You've got to consume a lot. And actually, one other con for herbs is that it generally takes some kind of preparation, whether you're making it into a tea or into a capsule or into a tincture. You can buy them ready-made so that they're ready for you, but I like to think of it, I like to do as much of it myself so I know where it comes from, what the ingredients are, and so that does take some preparation. So let's look at the pros of essential oils. Oils are highly concentrated, and so you don't need nearly as much to especially in acute situation, they act very, very quickly compared to herbs. And so for that, I actually prefer to use the essential oils for, say, a yeast infection, or I really like doTERRA's On Guard or Young Living's Thieves for when you start to feel sick. Both of those are very quick acting. And so the fact that they're concentrated, they act quickly, that's a great benefit. Herbs, or not herbs, but essential oils are readily usable. I mean, you've got your little bottle and there it is, it's ready. And also they don't take up much space. You know, you can have several different essential oils all in one little packet and carry that with you as your emergency first aid kit, and you're good to go. Where herbs, you're gonna have to have a little bit more preparation to get that kit together in its different forms. Cons: essential oils are expensive. You can buy less expensive and find some good brands that aren't expensive as some of the larger, more well-known brands, but compared to herbs, they're a lot more cost, not effective, but the opposite, whatever. I can't think of the word. And once you're out of your essential oil, you've got to buy more. There's no way that you can produce your own essential oils there at your house. You can't grow them. You can't, unless you have the equipment to make your own essential oils. And because they are so highly concentrated, the ability to have adverse reactions can be a lot more severe than, say, with an herb. I'll have an example of if you get a 2-year-old that opens up your essential oil bottle full of cinnamon versus a bottle of the herb of cinnamon, you're going to have a very unhappy child with the essential oil, where you might just have a powdery mess and maybe get in their eyes or something, but nothing as severe as having cinnamon oil on your skin, which can be very painful. So those are my pros and cons, and I would love to hear what you love. What do you use most, and why? Why do you use essential oils more than herbs, or why do you use herbs more than essential oils? Is it just an education factor? Is it because of some of the reasons that I've given? Or do you have your own reasons? I'd love to hear what you have to say, and please educate us on what you like best. Thanks so much. Bye.